Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will show you guys how to play Mercenaries, or the way I like to play them, which is typically going for a really long loss streak. So I will go losing 6 to 8 rounds every single game. I don't recommend doing that unless you can get your Mercenaries early on, but if you can't, there's other ways to play Mercenaries. The gist of it is that you just need to streak no matter what. You either go on a long win streak or a long loss streak. You need to start streaking somehow. If you're not able to streak, that's like probably the worst thing you can do playing this comp. But if you are able to get that loss streak going, then you are guaranteed to have a good late game. You will scale into the late game really well. As long as you don't panic and know what you're doing, your team potential is pretty much uncapped playing this comp. So yeah, anyway, let's get into it. On the first carousel, there was an Alawi with a bow, and when playing this comp, I recommend going for like a mercenary unit on the first carousel, which is going to be Alawi. If you see an Alawi on the carousel, grab it no matter what item she has. Items don't really mean shit to you in this comp because towards the end you will be printing items, so it really doesn't matter. And if you are loot streaking, you will have carousel prio, so you'll get the items you want later on anyway. But yeah, I tried to grab that Alawi to get that mercenary unit going, but somebody else took it from me, which is unfortunate. So right now I found two trundles in my shop, but I'm going to sell them because I want to pre-level. Even though I have the augment that makes my shop look as if I was one level higher every time, I still want to pre-level because it gives me even higher odds of hitting MF or GP, which are the 3 cost mercenaries that you need in order to hit that 3 mercenary trait. There are sometimes other augments that will help you, like some augments give you a tome of traits. You always want to grab that when you're playing this comp because once you get a mercenary unit on the board or on your bench, use your tome of traits and pick the mercenary trait if it shows up in your shop, and that will help you immensely. But yeah, I just pre-leveled anyway, and I was able to hit an MF, which is great. Now all I need are either GP, Alawi, or Quinn. Now, since I don't have 3 mercenaries yet, I don't want to start losing because then that's just using my HP without any benefit really, and it's gonna put me at an even lower health once I cash out. So yeah, losing right now is not the best, honestly, but it happens. Yeah, there will be other times when you're able to 2-star MF or GP. Once you 2-star MF, it's really hard to lose streak. So if you want to buy that MF and 2-star her, then you have to put her in the front row or something and start inting like that because it's really hard to lose with a 2-star MF in the back. So yeah, anyway, if you see that in your shop, you shouldn't buy it. All of your gold should be going towards levels or just saving up for econ, because if you're rolling or buying units to try to make your board stronger, then you're just not playing it right because you want to lose right now. This is the best time to lose. Early game you don't lose a lot of HP, so you want to get your mercenaries in as soon as possible and start losing. I can't stress enough how important econ and gold is in this set because there are so many augments that give people like free XP, free rerolls, um, free items and stuff like that. So if you're not lucky with one of those augments, then you need to know how to econ, and playing mercenaries really will help to bridge that gap between you and the other players if you are not lucky enough to get one of those augments yourself. And if you do get a good augment, then this comp will just help you scale even harder into the late game. Trust me, you just gotta believe in it. You can't falter when you see your HP dropping and then try to cash out midway. You definitely need to stick with this type of thing all the way through because your loot is gonna be pretty garbage unless you have like 6 or 8 losses under your belt. Um, so yeah, this is definitely a first or eighth kind of comp, and if you can't handle that kind of playstyle, then it's probably not for you, but if you are able to pull it off, it is highly rewarding. I have easily 3-star JINX like 3 times now, and a few other 5 costs, and almost every 4 cost by now using this kind of method, so it definitely works. Anyway, onto the carousel round. I just need one more mercenary. I have Quinn and MF, so I'm gonna go ahead and run towards the GP because he will give me that 3 mercenary trait. And that is when the fun begins? Is it fun to int? I don't know. Kind of. But now that I have 3 mercenaries, my focus is gonna be on losing every single round. And what you need to do right now is scout the lobby, because if there are other mercenary players also sandbagging, then you need to sandbag even harder. Like, put all your units on the front row or something. Keep track of who you've played against. This whole thing is not like random who you're playing against. You can memorize the order and know exactly who you're playing against next round. That's what I did last set, and yeah, you can scout the exact board that you're playing against to gauge how strong you need to play or not. But honestly, it doesn't matter too much. That's honestly a little bit too much thinking I want to do personally when I'm playing this comp. So I just keep it simple and play extremely weak. I will keep all my units at 1 star until I need to cash out. And if you're if you're able to get mercenaries early on, like in stage 1, and then play like this, keeping all your units at 1 star, and then taking like big losses every single round, like how I did, then you'll end up with like around 20 to 30 HP towards the end. Maybe 40 if you take small losses, but we're keeping it simple. We're keeping the units at 1 star, so chances are I will be taking big hits every single round. So just be emotionally prepared to see your HP that low when it's time to cash out. I see a GP and Quinn in my shop right now. I'm not going to buy them yet because I might be able to hit 30 gold if GP somehow clutches a kill, because his passive, he generates 1 gold for every kill he gets. But it's very unlikely because of how weak my board is, so I do end up buying them. But yeah, also keep in mind that I already had 3 losses prior to getting Mercenary activated on the board, so those 3 losses will not count towards my loot. And a good way to remember that is looking at the chest on your bench towards the left. That chest is closed right now, but once it gets full, which is around 6 to 8 losses, it'll be open, and you can also hover over it to see what's inside. So that way you know what you're gonna get for your payout. You want to look at the number of losses you have and subtract the number of losses that didn't count. So right now I only have 2 losses in the chest because 5 subtracted by 3 losses is 2. So that means I will want to cash out once I have around 9 losses or 11 losses, because then I would have like 6 to 8 losses stored up in my chest. Okay, so now I am at 30-ish gold, and I want to prioritize econ. So next round I will probably have like 40 something. And yeah, I have 48 gold because of the loss streak I've accumulated. I get bonus gold during the minion rounds. And so yeah, I'm gonna throw away my Kog'Maw and forego the twin shot and sniper bonus it gave to my team because it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to win right now. But then I put him back because I wanted to get that rod off of GP anyway. So yeah, just do what you need to in order to hit econ. Hitting econ early is crucial for this comp. You don't want to waste gold. Generating gold from streaking and not buying units, just saving up, is gonna help you do that. Alright, I'm gonna quickly mention a couple of augments that are pretty busted in conjunction with this comp. So the one I have right now, it's my first time seeing it, but it is so busted with this comp. Basically, it makes my shop look as if I'm one level higher. So right now I'm getting the odds as if I am level 6, and that is super freaking strong because once you cash out at around 6 or 8 losses, you're gonna be like level 7 or 8. And if you're trying to cash out anyway at level 7, um, you want to get the good units and put your items, slam your items onto the good units and try to cash out like that. And this will just give me higher chances of hitting 4 and 5 class once I am level 7. So this augment's OP. There are other augments like an option to get a Tome of Traits, and if you see that, you definitely want to grab it because if you're able to pick up a mercenary onto your board or your bench and then use that Tome of Traits, you might get a mercenary emblem in your chest, and yeah, that's gonna help you hit 5 mercenaries because cashing out at 5 mercenaries is ideal. Um, there's also an augment I've seen that gives you an extra mercenary on your trades, so even better. My personal favorite augment with this comp is the one that heals your little legend for every round that you win. So once I cash out, I'm usually at like 20 or 30 HP, but once you have your loot and you put together a way stronger board, then you go on a long win streak because of all the free shit that you just got, and then you start healing your HP back to like 50, 60 HP because you just don't lose anymore. That's good insurance that when you do cash out, you'll be okay because it can be pretty scary when you're that low. But if you have that augment, you start healing up right away, and then you're pretty much in no danger. So every time I see that augment, I greed and try to lose even more rounds, which is bad in some cases, but um, that augment is so fun to play with. Okay, and augments that you want to avoid when you're playing this are the augments that hinder your leveling. So there's an augment that gives you like 4 XP per round. Yeah, no, you don't want to do that shit because you are gonna want to dip into your econ to level, and that augment doesn't allow you to spend your gold on levels anymore. So you definitely don't want to do that shit because you need to like go 8 once you cash out or level up, do something and increase your odds of getting those 5 cost carries, because when you cash out at 8 losses, you will get a Nico almost every time. I'm pretty sure every single time. So yeah, you want to be like level 8 to get those 5 cost odds higher, and if you have that augment, then you're pretty much fucked, so don't get that. Moreover, in worst case scenarios, you will be so low that you need to rush 8 and try to cash out because you're gonna die. So if you have that augment, how will you go 8 when you need to, right? You just need to keep these things in mind when you're playing this comp because things can go wrong very quickly if you're not careful, and you just need to be ready. If you haven't practiced this comp or know like the ins and outs of it, then you need to know what to do when worst comes to worst. And that can happen pretty often with this comp if you are going for a long loss streak and aren't able to cash out, because then you just end up with a fat eighth. Alright, now we are at 9 losses. So 9 subtracting the 3 that didn't count puts us at 6 losses, and right on cue you will see now the box is fully open, and that is your sign to cash out. So now I'm leveled up to 7, dipped into my econ, leveled up to 7, rolling, spending my gold, to try to hit like a 4 cost or a 5 cost unit, and then I will slam all my items onto that unit to try to win a round. And in this case, I went ahead and used Victor because that is what I got. I don't want to spend too much gold because I still have like 1 or 2 life left. I play really greedy when I'm playing this comp, but if you're not confident or know what you're doing, then you just want to not greed like this and roll all the way to 0 to try to stabilize. Um, but yeah, anyway, this was a really hard round for me to cash out in because we went against the guy in first with 100 HP, so it wasn't gonna happen anyway. And yeah, at least we have some gold left to do the same thing next round. We're gonna repeat everything, roll, try to find some better units, make your board stronger. And I do have 5 Mercenary because I got an augment that gave me an extra Mercenary. So I know that once I do cash out at 5 Mercenary and 8 losses, I'm pretty much gonna be set for the rest of the game. At this point when you're rolling, you need to just buy 5 costs and 4 costs that you see in the shop. You'll want to play the most expensive board that you can. Doesn't matter if you have to use up all your gold right now because when you cash out you get a ton of gold as well. So it doesn't really matter. Um, but yeah, use all your gold, stabilize, play strongest board, play most expensive board, slam every single item you've got because it's now or never. And an easy way to cash out is like look for the good units. Like Tarek is broken. Um, right now I hit a JINX, so like I'm gonna play JINX. I also had already pre-built my JINX items, which are the Rage Blade, Hodge, and IE. I always try to build my items on the bench or during a minion round so that it's one less thing I have to worry about later on when I'm trying to cash out because time is not your friend. You need to be able to roll fast and put together a whole new board pretty quickly. Um, so yeah, I have all my JINX items. Now it's a matter of winning and staying alive. So luckily we just are able to win this round and cash out at 10 losses. So 10 subtracting the 3 that didn't count means we cashed out at 7 losses, and there you go. Now we have Nikos and we automatically get a 2-star JINX with a couple of extra items as well and a ton of gold. So that's why you don't hesitate to spend all your gold to make your board stronger when you're trying to cash out because you will make it all back anyway once you do cash out. And with all that gold, I go 8 right away to make my board even stronger than everyone else. And see, this guy is like level 6. Most of the lobby will be like level 6 or level 7 at this point while you're 8 because you just got a shit ton of gold from loose streaking and then you got even more gold from cashing out. So your board will be almost guaranteed the strongest board in the lobby at this point. And you don't really need to worry anymore because now you're stable. But there is a chance that somebody could have a team that can take you out and then you're screwed. So you still need to keep rolling and make your board stronger. If you're really low HP, then what you need to do right now is get rid of your mercenary units and replace them with stronger units like 4 cost and 5 cost units. But I know that JINX 2 is going to carry me, and so I'm gonna greed a few more rounds with 5 mercenary. And I know that I can do this safely because we're only at stage 4-3. We still have one more minion round and one more carousel, so most people probably haven't hit their 5 cost carries yet. Meanwhile, we have a 2-star 5 cost carry, so there's like almost no way we lose at this stage of the game. But later on, we definitely will need to swap out our mercenary units and replace them with stronger units. However, if you have more HP than I have right now, then you can keep greeting for a few more rounds then as well, and just keep farming free Nikos and free items. So yeah, but definitely right now, since people are getting their item at this carousel round and they're gonna get more items after the minion round, you have more items than everyone else. So statistically, your team is just gonna be more stacked, and therefore you're probably not gonna lose for a while. So yeah, it's at your discretion though if you want to keep greeting, because now it's getting to late game and having units like Quinn and Alawi, the 1 and 2 costs, are kind of just not beneficial for your team. Especially in my case, Alawi and Quinn are 1 stars, so there's like no point keeping them. I only did so because I wanted to keep greeting with 5 Mercenary, but yeah. There is also another option you have of playing bruisers with Jinx carry. So your front line will just be like Zac, Trundle, Alawi, Tom Kench. And that's super easy to pivot into because you're keeping 2 of the units in Mercenary. So you're still farming gold and reaping the benefits without working too hard and like replacing everybody on the board. Alright, so next round we have the Augments, and in this case, I would. There's like 2 good options. The Tome of Traits is always good, and I usually go for that one. But this time I went for Woodland Charm because it would make a copy of Galio, and having 2 Galios on the board is insane. You will basically have 2 Galios ulting and knocking up their board for a super long time. And then I also have Yumi with her AoE ability. These units played alongside Jinx just gives her the perfect setup for her ultimate, because your enemy team's board will pretty much be unable to move for majority of the round until Jinx gets her ulti off, and by then it's probably too late. You also want to be scouting and looking at everybody else's board to see who can potentially be a threat, and I didn't really see any threats except for one guy with a Kog'Maw, so I do try to position my Shroud in front of the Kog'Maw um, for that round, but I think I end up losing anyway. So yeah, it's pretty risky business this late in the game. You want to usually stabilize and goal 9, but I do have that augment that gives me the the odds as if I'm 1 level higher, so that's why I've just been rolling. But typically you want to go 9 and replace your mercenaries with legendaries and win that way. Anyway, I'm gonna skip forward to the point where I hit 3-star Jinx because I'm pretty much printing Nikos with 5 mercenary, and yeah, now I'm definitely guaranteed a first because Jinx 3 just destroys the entire board as soon as she ults. There's also an augment that gives you 2 extra mercenaries late game, and if you're able to get that augment, then there's no way you lose if you play it right, because then every single round you're printing Nikos and at least 2 item components. I've even gotten free Fawns, or Tactician's Crown as they renamed it, from 7 mercenaries. That's like the only time I can justify keeping every single mercenary unit on your board, but as you can see, I've already sold my Quinn and also my MF because they don't really offer any trait benefits to the team. And I don't need mercenaries anymore. I already hit 3-star Jinx. So yeah, I only kept Alawi because she was a bruiser with Tom Kench, and I kept GP because he gives Jinx twin shot. But other than that, there is absolutely no reason to have mercenaries on your board when you're at this stage. I know some of you are gonna think this is just luck and whatever, but it isn't. It's just the nature of this comp and the result of knowing how to cash out after a long loss streak, because this is what you end up with if you play your cards right. And there are other games where I didn't get augments that were as good as these, and there is a game where I got 7 mercenaries. It all ends the same way. You either 3-star JINX or 3-star somebody else, and you win the game. I have been playing this comp almost exclusively the past week because it's fun and it scales into the late game. And who doesn't like getting free gold and free items? So I feel like I know the ins and outs of this comp. If you have any questions or whatever, I am streaming on Twitch every day, or at least trying to, at around 4 p.m. PST. If you have any questions, you can just ask me there. I have, without fail, gotten great results with this comp every time I've played it. I also want to mention that if you're playing this comp and you're in a weak lobby or you're not confident about going for a long loss streak, then you can try win streaking, and in that case, just put JINX items on MF, slam all your items early, roll a little bit if you feel like you need your board to be stronger to keep winning. It's the same idea really, just as long as you streak, you can't not do well with this comp. That actually goes for the game in general. No matter what comp you play, you want to streak somehow, because if not, then you're just missing out on a lot of gold. And unless you have an augment that fixes that issue, you're just not being efficient in terms of econ. Either way, win streak or lose streak works with this comp, but in my opinion, lose streak is better because it's easier to maintain a loss streak by inting and keeping your board weak rather than trying to go for a win streak, because you never know if somebody else will high roll and have a way stronger board than you. So you can't guarantee a win streak, but you can guarantee a loss streak. I just went ahead and sold everyone else because now that JINX is 3-starred, she doesn't even need Gangplank's twin shot bonus or anything really. I kept in the Galio and Yumi just in case because I am at 3 HP, so I don't want to completely troll. But yeah, the only downfall for JINX I would say is if she gets CC'd, then she's fucked. But that's really if you're playing her at 2 stars. I'm pretty sure 3-star doesn't even matter. I can probably sell Galio and Yumi. Now that I think of it, I probably should have, so that I could have the woodland trait duplicate JINX. Fuck, now I want to play another game, but yeah, that would have been funny to see. Now I'm sad. I literally could have had 2 JINX 3s on my board, which is crazy, but I'm sure the opportunity will arise in the future because I've consistently 3-starred her now. So yeah, I'll just remember to do that next time. And anyway, that is it for this game. I will include some clips of the other times that I hit JINX 3 for anyone interested. But yeah, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.